Now, welcome to today's class. We are supposed to start from target costing. Target iko na inki mingi. Mimi nipunguze. Nimeweka inki mingi sana. So I was saying, we are start from target. Target costing. So target costing is our next something that we need to do. Now, when we talk about target costing, let us size this down. Let us write this down. I don't want to explain much. And we say that all the other methods that we have mentioned, so all the other methods, so all the other methods, comma, producer of a good and service determines the price. The price. Now, in mostly the other method we have been talking about, the other methods. So those methods, in most cases, the producer is the one who determines the price. No, but in target costing, it is not the producer. It is not the producer who determines the price, but it is the customer. So, and all other methods, providers of goods and services determine the price, and the customer, and the customer find the set price. Now, in most cases, if you go to buy something in the market, you find that the producer has determined the price. Mostly you find that the producer has determined the price. Now, in that case, that is what we call the other methods that we have been talking about, like cycle costing and so on. All the other methods tumekuwa tukizisema. The producer is the one who determines the price. But it is only under target costing where the price is determined by the customer. So we say for target costing, costing, it is the customer. It is the customer who is asked how much he or she is willing and able to pay. And able. Mute. Mute. So for target costing, we are saying it is the customer who is asked how much he or she is willing and able to pay for the product. Now, it is the customer who decides the price. It is the customer who is asked to state their price. Now, I have said that the other method that we are talking about, in most cases, the producer determines the price. So the producer determines the cost, and the producer determines this cost from the cost of production. But for target costing, it is the opposite. It is the customer who decides the price. The customer will decide the price. The price, let me say, the price given by the customer by the customer is the market price. Is the market price. It is the market price. It is the market price. Now, for example, when a person is selling something, let us assume he's selling good A. Let us assume that this person is selling good A at 9,000. Or let us say, for example, for this unit, which I'm teaching, for example, let's say I'm charging you Kenya shillings 3,000. So, for example, that is the price which I have stated I'm going to charge. Now, but when you come as the customer, you tell me you want me to charge you a specific amount. For example, now the customer, which it can be you say you want to charge me, you want me to charge you 2,500. Now, this price, it is the price which the customer states, and this is the price which I am the price that I have set as the person who is giving the service. Now, remember we have said that for the target costing, the customer is asked how much he or she is willing to able to pay for the product or for the service. You can also add or for the service or for the service. Now, for example, I assume now I'm offering this service of advance maybe at 3,000. Now, ukuja uniambie acha tuongee. Now, then you say that you want me to charge you 25. Now, this one becomes the market price. Now, the price that you state, you may quote as the person giving the service, it will not be the market price. Now, the market price will be the price which the customer has stated. Now, if you check, we have some gap. We have some gap in between what I wanted and what the customer wants. A gap of how many Kenya shillings? 500. Now, when we talk about the target cost is the market price, which is the price, the market price which the customer has stated. Now, from this market price, which the customer has stated, I must be able to derive my profit. Now, the target cost, to get my target cost from this market price of the customer, I need to less the desired profit. Now, if I can be able to get to less my desired profit to arrive at the target cost, then I'll be willing to accept that market price of 2,500. So if I can able to still maintain a particular cost, my target cost with this price, if I remove my desired profit, then I will accept that minimum price of the customer. So to maintain a particular target cost from the market price, which is the price of the customer, then I might be able, I must be able to get my share of profit from this market price. That one is okay. So that's how you get the target cost. So the target cost in an exam, if they ask you, it is the difference between the market price and the desired profit. Now, but remember we have a gap. Remember that gap I was telling you? This is how you calculate the gap, the cost gap. Now you have a gap between what I was charging and what the customer is willing to pay. So there's that gap that comes in. So how do we get that gap? Now the cost gap, which arises because of the differences between price. So the price which I was willing to charge and the price that the customer said is willing to pay. So obviously, we shall have a gap. Now is equal to actual cost less the target cost. The target cost. So actual cost less the target cost. So actual cost will less the target cost. Now let me look for a question in our past paper. Let me see if I can find a question. Nilisahau kurecord. But it's okay. Let us move on. So I will say that the pricing method is a method which considers price and demand. So price is assumed to be sensitive. So price is assumed to be sensitive to the demand. And this is the selling price is inversely related to demand, and this is the equation. Now you have said when the price is 1,000, demand is 20,000. But when they reduce demand by 100, we have said that price is sensitive to demand. So when we reduce our price by 100 shillings, we might have more customer. So the customer will double. So it was 1,000, 20,000. So when we reduce by 100, it's 900. So the demand will double up to 40,000. Now let us find the value of A and B so that we can have our demand function. So 900, so it wasn't a new 900, which is our price, is equal to A, to do A, minus 40,000 to do B. Now initial, it was 1,000 price, is equal to A minus 20,000 to do B to find the value of B. So we can minus, so 100 minus, not 100, 900 minus 1,000. It is minus 100. So itakuwa ni 0. Then minus 40,000 minus 20,000. Itakuwa ni minus 20,000. B. So find the value of B. Now B will be equal to 100 over 20,000. So meaning itakuwa ngapi hiwa? Itakuwa ni 0.005. Find the value of A. You can use any equation hapa. Mimi natumia ya kwanza. So we know that 900 is equal to A at J minus 40,000. Tuweke B 0.005. Na kumaanisha A itakuwa ni minus 40,000 0.005 minus 900. So what will be the value of A? So itakuwa ni minus 40,000 times answer minus 900. Unapata minus 1100. Is that one correct? So that we can say now P is equal to A. Our A is minus 100. Now this one is equal to minus 0.005 cube. So remember this one is always inverse. So inakuwa minus. Hata ukipata hapa ni positive, hapa itakuwa ni minus. Because you already know it is an inverse relation. Already we know that it's an inverse relation. So hata ukipata positive, where you are, inafaa ikue minus. Inafaa ikue minus. So sijui kama nimefanya vizuri. Nimefanya hapo? Iko sawa sivyo?
Uko sawa, uko sawa.
Sawa. Now, what were they asking? Walikuwa wanauliza nini? Rudi hapo. As I read the cost reduction scheme, if at 40%, 40% of cost is variable with the same margin of the profit, with the same margin of the profit. Now, Now we can find total revenue. We can find total revenue here. Then we see total revenue is equals to P times Q. Is equals to P times Q. But we know, but hapa tunajua minus 100 minus 0.05 Q times Q itatupatia our total revenue. Itakuwa ni minus 100 Q minus 0.05 Q squared. Q squared. Allow me to rub huku juu. Allow me to rub huku juu. But remember there's somewhere they were talking about variable cost. Remember there's somewhere they're talking about variable cost. Now, this is what you can say. You can say this way that marginal revenue is equal to change in total revenue over change in Q, which is the same as variable cost. So remember, not this is supposed to be yes. It's supposed to be equal to variable. According to the question, according to the question. Recently, ascertain the cost reduction scheme if at the present 40% of the cost variable cost is the same as the margin profit, meaning the margin profit, the marginal revenue is the same as the variable cost, but at which cost? 40% of the total cost. 40% of the total cost. Now, what's our total cost? Our total cost is going to be calculated at 750. So the target cost, your total cost, which was 750. Now, our variable cost is only 40% of this 750. So how much is that? Now, 0.4 times 750, which is 300. But, wamesema that our variable cost is the same as our marginal revenue. Now, from this one, we need to find marginal revenue. So from that one, we need to find our marginal revenue. Let us find our marginal revenue because they have said it must be equal. Copy hiyo ni yangu ya kuvuta. Umetupa wapi? Wacha nitafute nyingine. Now, let us see. Now, we find the marginal revenue so that we can equate. Itakuwa change in total revenue over change in Q. So remember, when you get the marginal revenue, you differentiate the total revenue. So we need to differentiate this total revenue. Now, differentiate for me is that total revenue. So if you differentiate minus 1100, itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa to minus 1100. Q itatoka. Then the other itakuwa 0.05 times 2. 0.05. I think I know you remember how to do that one. So niko na haraka. Utafanya haraka. I know you remember how to differentiate. 0.05 times 2, which is 0.01 Q. So 2 minus 1, nabaki. Now let us equate. So our marginal revenue, so our variable cost is 300, which must be equal to minus 100 minus 0.01 Q. 0.01 Q. Find the value of Q. Find the value of Q. Find the value of Q. Na itakuwa ngapi? So tupeleke side, itakuwa 300 plus hivyo na 0.01 Q. Hiyo value of Q. If E inafaa iko positive au minus, hebu mlifanyie mzuri. Naona hapo ni kama tumefanya italeta negative. Ufiti ukaleta hapa negative Q. Hebu nifanyie hii vizuri. 900 is equal to A minus 40,000, B na 1,000.
Excuse. Ni mimi screen yangu ndio haionyeshi vizuri ama ni net yangu ndio kuna shida?
Wako huoni? Na
Sioni,
wengine?
sasa sijui kama side yangu ndio kuna shida ama.
Iko sawa, iko clear.
Iko clear?
Eh,
So
Okay.
utaangalia kwako, uangalie kama your network is stable.
Sawa.
Aya, now hebu mnifaidie vizuri this figure, this one, the value of A and B. Nitafutia mzuri the value of A and B vizuri. So this figure nataka nijue hizi figure, si kama ni correct. This one venye inakaa hivi itakuwa 900 minus 1,000. Hebu tuifanye polepole. Hii ni minus 100, then 40,000 minus 40,000 minus 20,000. Itakuwa ni minus 20,000. Itakuwa ni minus 100 divided by answer. Itakuwa 0.05. Itakuwa 0.05. Atakuja kwa equation yoyote pale. 40,000 times 0.05 200. So ikikuja huku inafaa ikuwe positive. So 40,000 times 0.05 plus 900. Ninapata 2,900. Napata value of A, hebu confirm 0.05 na value of B 2,900. Is that correct? Aye. 40,000 times 0.05. Plus 900. Yes, that was 1,100. Positive. Now, allow me to correct that one. Allow me to correct that one kindly. So tulifanya vibaya hapa. Now, shall allow me to correct that one so that tutaanza upya. So hiyo nimenotice niliweka vibaya. Now, it's supposed to be P is equal to A. Note, this one is A. This one is B. This one is B. This one is A. Hivyo. Supposed to be that. Okay, so the equation utapata hizo. So kumaanisha A ni 1,100. Now this one tumesema tumepata positive. But remember price is inverse to Q. So kumaanisha atakupata positive utaweka hapa ikiwa minus 0.05 Q. Now find out total revenue. Itakuwa ni P times Q, which is equals to 1,100 minus 0.05 Q divided by Q. So that you can get 1,100 Q and 0.05 Q squared. So we can find our marginal revenue. Use the change in Q, change in total revenue over the change in Q, which is 1,100. So 0.05 itakuwa ni 0.01.
Ibra.
Ni 0.2 hapa. Hivyo. Mbona nafanya makosa mingi hapa? Hivyo. That one is fine. Now utachukua 0.005 times 2 equals 0.01 Q. Now we have said that variable cost in the question just seem to be same as the marginal profit, which is the marginal revenue. But our variable cost, well, it can be 40% of the cost. And remember, our cost is the target cost, which was 150. So 0.4 times 750, which is 300. Now we can see now 300 is equal to our marginal revenue, 1,100, 0.01 Q. So tupeleke huko 300 minus 1100 minus 800 equals to minus 0.01 Q. So what about Q? Itakuwa ni 800 divided by 0.01. So 800 divided by 0.01, which is 80,000. Now remember our P is equals to 1,100 minus 0.05 Q. So let us find the new price. Let us find new price. The new price, so that we see if it is a reduction. Let us see if it's a reduction. P equals to 1,100, 0.05, 80,000. Itakuwa ni times 0.00, hapa ni 0.2, 0.005. Then 1100 minus answer. So the price is 700. Now that is the price. The price is 700. Now, what was the initial price? What was the initial price? It was 1,000. So the initial price was 1,000. So initial price 1,000. New price 750. Now, can we ascertain it's a reduction? Can you ascertain that there is a reduction in price from 1,000 to 750? Can you
Yes.
ascertain? Yes. Now we can ascertain.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to from the equation that ascertain the cost reduction scheme. Now there's a, so you can say we can ascertain that there is a cost reduction scheme. So we can ascertain that there is a cost reduction scheme. Now that method is enough. There's no question concerning that one. Any other question? Nya kitambo, we shall look at it later. That one tutaangalia baadaye because ni a long time ago. Now tulifanya break even pricing method. We did psychological, we did penetration price na skimming. So hizo zilikuwa na hesabu. So the first part zilikuwa na hesabu. Now we went to life costing, tukafanya some hesabu. Target costing, tumefanya at least ka hesabu. That one is okay. Now let's go to the next one. Cost plus pricing method. Cost plus pricing method. Cost plus pricing method. So another method is cost plus. Cost plus pricing model. Cost plus pricing model. Cost plus pricing model. Now let us see. Now, when we talk about a cost plus pricing model, it's rate of cost. So Jane, Ilirudi ama bado uko na struggle ama ni left? Yes. Ilirudi ama bado una struggle? So what you do, unaweza left and then you rejoin. So what you can do, if you have an issue, you just leave, then you rejoin. Itarudi normal. So just leave and rejoin. Now we say this is the most common method because its simplicity and ability to ensure that profit are made. So we say this is the most common method. This is the most common method because it ensures simplicity and ability, and also ensures that profits are made. It's a method which it's a common method because of its simplicity. So it's a method which is common because of its simplicity, and also it's a method that ensures the company can get the profit from this method. Now, how do they get profit? By adding a profit margin. So the company can get profit by adding a profit margin. We say according to this method, according to this method, selling price is determined. Selling price is determined by adding cost. By adding cost to the profit. According to this method, selling price is determined by adding cost to the profit. Now let us see how to get markup. Markup is equal to profit divided by cost. So that's we get markup. Margin is equal to profit over sales. Now, if markup is N over M, the margin will be N over M plus M. Now, if margin is N over M, then markup will be N over M minus N. Now that's for example. Now, for example, if our markup, let's say for example that our markup is 20%, determine margin. Now this is the same as saying, this one is the same as saying 20 over 100. Silvio, is that correct? Now our margin itakuwaje? From this markup itakuwa ni 20 over 100 plus ya juu 20. Na itakuja ngapi? 20 you divide by 100 plus 20, which is
1/6.
sivyo?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16.67.
Ama unaweza sema which is same as 50 over 3. 50 over 3. 50 over 3. That is all. It's all about it. That is all about it. Now the opposite is the same. The opposite is the same. The opposite is the same. For example, let us say now this is our percent, 16%. Which is I'm saying 50. This one is 50 over 300. If you are putting in percentage, I'm saying 50 over 300. So that we could say 50 over 300 times 100. Now the 16.66. So it's like saying, so this one is like saying 50 over 300. Now let us try this one. Itakuwa, let us see. Itakuwa ni 50 over 300. Now remember, tukitoka kwa margin, tukitoka kwa markup, we need to raise the upper part, which is 50. Hii ni kusema ngapi? So 50 divided by 300 minus 50, which is 0.2, which is the same as 20%. The same thing. Now remember, hii ni kusema another way ilikuwa nafanya kitambo tukiwa secondary. Ukipatiwa huyu markup, ukachukua 100 over 20, which is 5. Tulikuwa nasemaga ni 1 over 5. So ndio ukienda kwa margin uko na add 1. Unakuja unasema ilikuwa ni 1 over 5 plus 1. It's the same concept. Now you add the numerator. The numerator here is 1. You add 1. Now when you don't have a numerator as 1, you add what it is. Hapo kama ingekuwa ni 2 over 5, what you add is the 2. Now but tumezoea this one. So you don't add 1. You add the numerator. So you don't add 1, you add the numerator. So depending with the question. So if you add 1 hapo, itakuwa ni 1 over 6 times 100. We shall get the same answers, 16.66%. But this one is the correct one. So you add the numerator. So you don't add 1. So you add the numerator. So unaweza pata zingine hazina the numerator ni tofauti. So you don't add 1. You add the numerator. You add the numerator. Now that is all about it. Now let us see a question from a past paper. Tunaenda kwa swali kitabu sana. We have November 2016. November 2016. That question we did it in class. So that one to refine in class. So this one, November 2016. Question number. Tulifanya kwa life cycle costing. Tuko kwa life cycle costing uangalie. November 2016. The question is question number 2B. Tunaona kama tulifanya kwa life cycle costing. November 2016. Question 2B. Ilikuwa November 2016. Ai, ndo amisi no. Baya naenda kwa basi naangalia, ngoja kidogo. November 2016. Question number 2B. Mbona sina swali? Nataka kuona swali inakaaje. Banaona kama tufanye swali. This one is, let me open the first paper. That question is a learning curve. That question is for learning curve. Bwana kwa learning curve niambia kama tufanyange swali. If you go to your learning curve, innovator. Hiyo sasa inaona ni common, innovator. Go to learning curve. Uangalie swali. November 2016. Question 2B.
Hmm.
Tulifanya? Yes, ongeza sauti. TJ. Kwa learning curve. Tulifanya swali ya November 2016. Question 2B.
Sioni bwana.
Learning curve, kwa topic ya learning curve. Ilikuwa topic 2.
November. Yeah. Yeah.
Iko. Tulifanya. Tafadhali tuongee ndio to save time. Jane,
Yeah, we did.
yes?
Yeah, tulifanya.
Ama tulifanya kwa learning curve. Yes, I think nakumbuka tulifanya.
Yeah, tulifanya.
Tulifanya, yes. Now, kuna mahali tuli add a markup ya 25. Tuambia hapo that both the markup is 25%. So I remember that when we did it. So we don't have to repeat the same question. So ukienda kwa learning curve, you shall find it. So if you go to learning curve, you shall find it. So tawatumia video learning curve. And then mtaangalia hiyo swali, it is there. So iko hapo. Let us move on. Let us find another question. Let us find another question. Now, I don't think we have another question. I don't think we have another question for that one. We go to our application. That one is okay. That one is okay. Nikipata ingine, as we move on, nitawaambia. But for now, we don't have another one. Now, let us move to another subtopic, which is called return on capital employed method. Return on capital employed method. Return on capital employed method. So this one, check on the video of learning curve. Learning curve or class notes. Yeah, so you review your class notes. So we did that question and you explained that. Now let's go to return on capital employed as another method. Return on capital employed. 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 Okay, this is the method. So return on capital employed, pricing method. This is the second last method, if I'm not wrong. So this is the second last method. Then, okay, not the second last. You have another two methods, but this one ina mambo mingi. Now this is used to set the price that will generate profit enough to cover the cost of capital employed. We say this method is used. This method is used to set price. This method is used to set price that will generate profit that will generate profits enough to cover the cost of capital employed. The cost of capital employed. So we just want to recover the cost of the capital employed. This is a method that is used to generate the profit to cover the cost of the capital employed. Now, this is the formula. Cost plus profits is equal to selling price. Is equals to selling price. Then you can say profits is equal to markup multiplied with the cost. Then this is how you get the markup. So go very keen in an exam. Now you be very keen. To me, the method of cost plus profit markup. Remember that cost plus you are M plus N over M plus N. Then you engineer M over M minus N. So don't use this one. So in this case, ni tofauti. Now this is the formula. Is equal to capital employed. Capital employed. So it depends with the method over total cost. Then you multiply with the return on capital employed. You multiply with the return on capital employed. So you multiply with the return on capital employed. So you multiply with the return on capital employed. And then do you have anything else? Now hii tunaenda kitambo. Tuone pia ni kitambo. June. So in case ukutana nayo. June 2008. Question 1C. So open that one in a past paper. So ile ndio watumia kwa group. Kuna hiyo email. Uende to the last paper. Chini kabisa ya June 2008 question 1C. Hiyo ndio ya mwisho kabisa. Ukienda huko chini hiyo ya from 2209. Kuna hiyo email. You open that email from 2009 to 2015. Uende chini kabisa utapata hizo ya June 2008. It is the last paper kwa hiyo nini? Kwa hiyo group of papers from 2015 to 2009. Then you open that one. You do that question. So open. So it's the last one. So ukifungua hiyo page uende huko chini kabisa. So it is for June. So mtu tusome tafadhali. As I clear the board. Tumepata? Tumepata hizo swali?
The following data relate to production activities of Almasi Limited for the financial year ended that 1st December 2007. Then we have direct material, direct wages, variable overheads, fixed factory overheads, fixed selling and administration overheads, capital employed in fixed assets. Then we have additional information. Capital employed in current assets, 50% of annual sales. Then number 2, the annual sales volume amounted to 800,000 units. Required. Determine the selling price per unit required to yield a 20% return on capital employed.
Good. Thank you. Now, that's how the variable cost per unit. To consider the cost that we have. Let's say we have variable cost per unit. So that you can get the total cost. So from the question I can say we have 22.5 per unit. We also have 6 and 1.5. So inakuja ngapi when you add them together? So 22.5 plus 6 plus 1.5, which is 30 by Kenya shillings per unit. Now we can get the total variable cost. Total variable cost upon 30 per unit to multiply the total units. So when the total units, now the total units from this question, ametuambia ni ngapi? Pale chini information number 2, the annual sales amounted to 800,000. So we shall assume that is our unit also. So 800,000. Now what will be our 30 times 800,000, which is 24 million. Now, let me save on space. Let me don't use a big space because we need a lot of space. We need a lot of space. Let me just try and save. Let us determine total cost. Let us try and determine total cost. So total cost is equal to variable cost plus fixed cost. Total cost is equal to variable cost. Now, sijui kama itatoshea mpira kadogo. Total cost. Total cost. Hii itabidi tumeandika in full. Is equal to total variable cost plus total fixed cost. Now, our total variable cost in the year 24 million. I will add the fixed cost to one to 1620 somewhere. 1620 Then you have another cost which is 10, 20. Inakuja ngapi? So add them together so I can get a total cost. Itakuwa 24 million. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 16, 20, 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 1, 2, 3. So me apply 26. I'm getting 26, 640,000. Let me move this line a bit. Usikuwe tumefinya side moja sana. That's how equality. Let us try and maintain what is called the equality. Let us maintain what we call equality. Now, as selling price. So how do we get selling price? Or before we get selling price, capital employed. How do we get capital employed? Capital employed. Now capital employed tukienda pale juu kwenye formula yetu. Unaweza ichange kidogo. Najaribu kufikiria. Na pale chini 50% something. Let's go back to our requirements. From our requirement, you can see determine the capital employed in the current asset is 50%. So the capital employed in current assets 50% of the annual sales. Now, first we have capital employed in fixed assets. So we have number 1 in fixed asset. In fixed asset, the 1.8. Then you have the other one for current assets. Now that is the ngapi? We have 50% of the total sales. Now our total sales, there is a total units which is 800,000, but at due price, so to data P. Remember, we don't know the price. We don't know the selling price. That's what we are looking for. We are looking for P from our requirement. Now we don't know P, but for us to get the total sales, for us to get the total sales, which is the same as total revenue, is equal to P times Q. Now we have Q as 800,000, but hatuna P, so we call it a P. So itakuwa ni 0.5 times 800,000 times P, which is 400,000 P. Now you can say our capital employed is equals to 1.8 plus 400,000 P, which that's what we are looking for. Price P. Now we have return on equity. Not return on equity, return on capital employed. Umetupatia something that is 20%. But from our formula for markup, what was the formula for markup? Turudi pale juu, is equals to capital employed. Inatupatia capital employed. You are supposed to divide it with the total cost. Total cost. We multiply it with okay. Now, do you have those information? Now, capital employed, we have it. They have a June 1,800 plus 400,000 P over total cost. Ndio hii 26,640,000. Then what you get, you multiply with 20%, which is our okay. You multiply with 20%, which is our okay. Na utapata ngapi hiyo? How much will that be? Let us see. Let us try and minimize this one. So I think we should come to the other side. I think we should. Okay, wacha tuone kama tunaweza toshea. Tukisema hivi 1.8, so 1800, 1, 2, 3, we divide by the total cost, 26,640, 26,640,000. Aha. So itakuwa 0.06 676 tuachie hapo plus 400,000 P divided by 26 640 640,000 640,000 hiyo inatupea 0.015 P times 20%, which is 0.2. If we open that one a bit, itakuwa inakaa hivyo. Let us open it kabisa. Let us open it kabisa. Put the markup. Now markup itakuwa 0.0676 times 0.2, which is 0.01352 plus 0.015 times 0.2 itakuwa 0.003 P. That's what it's our markup. That's what it's our markup. Now, remember our formula? We have this formula tukianza. Selling price. Tukianza tulisema selling price is equal to cost plus profit. But we said profit is equal to markup. Markup times cost. Markup times cost. Now let's find profit. Our profit, our markup ndio hii hapa. 0.01352 plus 0.003P. We multiply with our cost, which is 26,640,000. 26,640,000. Now, what about our selling price? Now, tumeshapata. Now, tukuja kwa formula yetu. Selling price, it is 800,000 times P. Times P. Selling price. That's correct. So we said selling price is the total revenue. P times Q is equal to our cost, which is 26,640,000. Then we add our profit, which is 0.01352 plus 0.003P. Then what you get, you multiply 26,640,000. 26,640,000. So 26,640,000. Itakuwa ngapi? 26,640,000. So find the P. So once you find the P, that one becomes your selling price. Let us try and find the P. Tuone kama we shall be able to get. Now tufunze na hii. So we start with that one. Tutasema 800,000 P is equal to 26,640,000 plus, let us open 0 times this one, 0.01352 times 26, 640,000. This one is 360, 172.8 plus 0.003. 0.003 times 2640, which is 79,920 P. Now here is again 800,000 P minus 79,920 P. What is it? 26,640,000 plus 360, 172.8, which is 27,000,172.8. So 800,000 minus 79,920, which is equal to 720,080 P is equal to 27,000,172.8. Now what will be the value of P divided by it? So 27,000,172.8 divided by the answer. Minapata 37 Kenya shillings, 37.4996. This is per unit. Now that is the selling price. So the question requires us to determine the selling price. Now the selling price is 37.9496. 37.496. 37.496. 37.496. That one is okay. Let's go to the second class. So moja iko na hesabu, the other one haina. Now tutafanya iko na hesabu. The other one I will share with you the notes after the class. Then you shall see what is it. Now this one is the iko na maswali mingi. So nita introduce, tufanye swali moja. Then the rest of the question tutakutana kesho. We do. Let us introduce it. So it is called the transfer pricing. Transfer pricing method. Transfer pricing method. Transfer pricing method. Transfer pricing method. Now, Jane, did you manage? Na uongee bwana. Yes, Jane. Did you manage to follow up without the issues? Ulileave na ukatoka? Na ukarejea? Yes?
Okay, my net ndio iko na issue.
So bado inakusumbua?
But na follow up tu pole pole.
Sawa. Share the video anyway. So that one should not be an issue. So that one should be an issue. I think I will try and share some videos today. And at least you know what we have been doing. Those who when you're always up to join the previous classes. Now, tumebakisha topic mbili, of which tomorrow we do one. Na Sunday tufanye moja. Now, I hope you can do a lot of, and I think now past paper, you can get past paper, at least now you can do. Now, transfer pricing. Transfer pricing. transfer pricing. Now this happens where we have more than one division in organization. Now, when we talk about the transfer pricing, I have said that it is where mostly we have more than one division in a company. Now, this division must be independent to each other. Now, to set their own prices. Now, but in most cases, you find that one division sells to the other division internally. But you can also find that the same division, which is selling their goods internally, they are also selling their goods externally from an outside party. Now, for example, division A and division B. So division B might be depending for division A for raw material to produce a particular good. So they shall buy their material from department A. But you find also department A now, they can sell to department B as raw material, and also they can sell their product outside. Now, the department that is outsourcing, we call it the receiving division. And the department that is providing, we call it the supply division. So in most cases, you have two divisions in a company, the supply division and receiving division. So the supply division supply material to that department. And the department that is receiving the material is called the receiving department. Now, supply department can supply internally or externally. So they can sell their product internally or externally. But the receiving, they only sell their product externally. Now, let us see. This is the method of setting prices. This is a method of setting prices. This is a method of setting prices where the buyer is an external party. Where the buyer is an external party. The external party. Now, it happens when the company has division. It happens when the company has division. We can call them departments. And output of one division is transferred as an input in another division, as an input in another division. That's correct. So we have two divisions. So one is supplying, the other one is receiving. So the one who is supplying as an output, but the one receiving is receiving it as an input. The process of setting prices from one division to another division is called transfer pricing. It's called transfer pricing. So in transfer pricing, In transfer pricing, there are two divisions. There are two divisions. Number one, supply division. Supply division. And we say the transfer price is the revenue. The transfer price is the revenue. Now, for when you talk about the transfer division, the transfer price should be the revenue. Is the revenue. The transfer price revenue. Then you have the other one, the receiving division. The transfer price is the relevant cost. You say the transfer price. The transfer price is the relevant cost. Is the relevant cost. The relevant cost is another name of the variable cost. So is the another name of the variable cost. Is another name of the variable cost. So the transfer price is another name for the variable cost. For the variable cost. Now the transfer effect. The transfer effect. The transfer pricing has no effect on the company. Has no effect on the company. The transfer price, the transfer pricing has no effect on the company. Now, what do we mean has no effect on the company? Now, assume you are the company. Now, for example, uko na mfuko ya, for example, if you wear a trouser, so ukivaa a trouser, you are wearing a trouser as a person, not as two person. So watu wawili waweze vaa longi moja. Now, when you wear a trouser, you find that kuna mfuko ya the right side and the left hand side. Now, tuseme hii mfuko ya right hand side is division 1, which is the supply department. Now, ukivaa kwa hii mfuko ingine ya left, we call it the receiving department. Now, assume you have 10 shillings or 20 shillings in one of the pocket. Now, if you remove these 20 shillings from this pocket, the right hand side, we play kwa the left side, your 20 shillings. Now, unasema uko na 40 shillings, or are you remaining with the same 20 shillings? Yes, yes, and yes. So when you have 20 shillings in your pocket, we take kwa pocket as one division, we play kwa mfuko ingine as one division. Would you say that you are richer with an extra 20 shillings, so itakuwa 40, but you remember you had 20? Yes.
The same.
Yes, unasema yes, CJ.
The same. I'm not
Yes.
I'm still.
Yes. It's the same as division. Now, even if you transfer from one division to another, the value of the company will be the same. So the transfer price will have an effect on the divisions, but will not have the effect on the overall company. Now, we meet tomorrow. This is the question that we shall start with. Now, let me tell you, it was tested from which sitting. So tomorrow shall meet very early in the morning. September 2021, tuanza na hiyo. September 2021, question number 5. So we shall start with this question. September 2021. Question number 5. Number 5 what? Number 5A. So tomorrow we are meeting from 7 sharp, 7 a.m., 9 a.m. Then from 10:30 a.m., 1 p.m. we shall have 2 classes. One, kumalizia this topic. The other one, we shall do the reporting, post reporting. Tomorrow I'm going to do post reporting and budget and variance. This is one topic. Dr. Mazie hii I'll introduce something kidogo, then baadaye tutamalizia the cost reporting and budgeting and variances. Now, that one is okay for now. Let us meet tomorrow. So you have a lovely night. Tutaongea kesho. So you have a lovely night. Tutaongea kesho.